Hello guys and welcome to a new show where I talk nothing but movies and TV shows. Now on this new show I don't know what to call it yet, but I'm sure I can come up with an idea or you can come up with an idea. Either or, let me know in the comments below. Now I'm going to start off with some news and things like that. Just news in general of what's coming up in movies. I mean, I'm a big movie buff, even as big as a movie buff than I am probably a game buff. I watch a lot of movies, and I like to keep up to date with movies. And people don't really know what's coming up, so I'd like to do this video just to tell you about things that are coming up, and well, in my opinion, exciting things anyway. So to start it off with, a great news in the movie industry just lately that Robert Downey Jr. has been confirmed to play Iron Man in Avengers 2 and 3. But Downey himself has stated that he doesn't want to do any more standalone movies for such Iron Man 4, Iron Man 5, and etc. If them films do come to be, which have not been confirmed yet, I cannot personally see any more Iron Mans coming out before Avengers 3 or anything. Maybe a couple of years down the line we'll get a new Robert Downey, but I can't see anybody playing Iron Man as well as Robert Downey. But therefore, that was said with the original Tim Burton Batman, Jack Nicholson playing the Joker, and then we got Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight Returns. No, just The Dark Knight. So yeah, but I personally would like to see Downey Jr. as Iron Man and that stay that way. Now, I'm guessing Downey Jr. can buy himself a small island now with how much they've had to pay. Disney have had to pay him to play it in Avengers 2 and 3. It was rumored to be around somewhere like 75 million for Avengers 2, so I don't know if they struck some kind of deal, but I am happy at the fact that we get Downey Jr. in Avengers 2 and 3. So I feel that's good news all round. So out of comic book movies for a second, this is, I mean, I'm not happy about this, but The Rock has been, I don't know. It's been rumored that The Rock is to be in the new Terminator 5 movie, which has been confirmed. There's no real anything about the movie. It's just saying that it will be made. But The Rock is meant to be played now. His role in the movie has not been specified or anything like that. But I can see The Rock in that kind of movie, the Terminator 5. I mean, he's one of the biggest action movie stars around at the moment, so why would you not want him in your movie? I mean, just look at him in like things like Fast 5 and Fast 6, which coincidentally he wasn't meant to be in Fast 5. The Rock's character in Fast 5 was a lot skinnier and a lot wittier, and then I can't remember what studio it is that makes Fast 5. They were told to create this character for The Rock, which then went on to be done, and he was amazing in Fast 5. To me, one of the main reasons I went and watched Fast 5 and Fast 6. Now, also, that's rumoured about around the Terminator, which this is what I don't like about the Terminator, is that the plot is rumoured to be centered around Sarah Connor's parents in the 40s and the 50s. Now, to me, I've seen this in Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and Terminator 3. Go back in time, try and stop John Connor from being born. I've seen this many times before. It was good when it was originally out. I don't think I wasn't old enough to be watching them films, but when I eventually did watch them films and got round to watching them, Terminator 2 is one of the greatest films that will ever be made, in my personal opinion. But I've seen this plot many of times before, sending someone back in time to kill someone to stop them from being born. It's been done. It was great for its time. Nobody had really done it before, and it was brilliant. So I can't see it working, but therefore it is only a rumor. And the great thing about Terminator 5 is that we get more Arnold, and what is not, we always want more Arnold. So, well, I do anyway, because I love Arnold. Predator 1, one of the greatest films to ever be made. On to other news. World War Z is to become a franchise. Brad Pitt stated that they only took a fraction from the book to create this film, and that we'll see that there's many more to come. the keywords there being "we'll see." Now, to my knowledge, World War Z, it's done okay in the cinemas over the weekend. I've not personally seen it yet. I want to go and see it because as you'll come to know on this show, that zombie films are one of my favourite genres. Same with video games, everything to do with zombies. Like, I'm sure when Walking Dead starts, we'll get into that. But zombie films in general are my favourite. But World War Z was a PG-13, I think, so there's not that much gore and things like that. So it's not your typical zombie film. But I can't see this becoming a franchise on its own, unless they step it up. I've not read the book, but I know I've been told about the book, and the premise of the book sounds absolutely amazing. Now, we'll get onto that some other time, because I don't want to talk books, because I don't read books. This is a movie and TV show, so we'll get onto that on another time. Now, let me just pull my thing up here. So, onto Man of Steel Easter eggs. Right, so if many of you have seen the new Man of Steel Superman, if you haven't, I recommend you go and watch it. Not the best film of the year, in my personal opinion. Star Trek Into Darkness, up to yet. Hands down, the best film I've seen this year. But in the Man of Steel, there is an Easter egg. Zod and Superman are fighting. They blow up a satellite, and that satellite has got the Wayne Enterprise logo on. Now, Christopher Nolan said that, and I agree, that the Batman that he created in Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, was a standalone universe, that nobody else existed in this universe. They was just Batman. But therefore, in this universe, Batman himself states that he's not Superman. So therefore, Batman acknowledges that Superman exists in this universe. Now, I feel this might be the way that Nolan can put Batman into this Superman universe, but therefore I don't feel the Christian Bale Batman, Nolan's Batman, can hang in this universe. I feel there needs to be a reboot already if we're going to get a Justice League film, which is inevitably going to happen, because I feel that's where Nolan wants to go with it. But yeah, I don't feel that Batman can hang with that Superman, with the amount of damage. Like, even in the film himself, Christian Bale, Bruce Wayne says he's too battered. He's been Batman for what, 2 years, and his body can't take it. So we need a new Batman, a reboot of Batman, but not a reboot. I don't want to see any backstories of Batman. Just do that quickly, get it over with, out of the credits. As the credits are starting, they're rolling, just give us the backstory of Batman there. If you're going to do that, go that way with it. So yeah, and in the Man of Steel also, there's more Easter eggs. If you have not seen them, there's the company that, I'm not too familiar with DC, so, but the company that creates Cyborg are featured in there. There's the LexCorp logo. I believe the person that plays Cyborg was a football player, an American football player that plays for this team in Smallville, I think it is, and his name gets announced on the team, which is another quite good Easter egg. And then there's also the Easter egg of Supergirl when he goes to Superman's ice castle. I can't remember, a Fortress of Solitude. That's it. Which is a ship in Man of Steel. I don't know if it is in the original Superman's. Like I say, I'm not too familiar with DC, but the pod is open. One of the pods are open, and that is specifying that someone escaped from this crashed plane, this crashed ship that crash land that he goes to and learns more about himself. Now, we know that because there was a comic before Man of Steel, like it was just a short comic showing you how that ship crash landed on Earth. So if you want to see that, you can find it on the internet somewhere. If I can find it, I will post a link to it in the description of this video. But yeah, that's it for Man of Steel at the moment and the Batman universe. I would like to see a Justice League film come together, but I personally feel more characters need to be introduced first. They need to go the Marvel route with it, because Justice League is rumoured, and I say rumoured, to come out in 2015. Now, this is only a rumour, but I don't feel that's enough time, because I'd like to see the Flash introduced. Maybe not Wonder Woman, because I feel Wonder Woman's a character that needs to be introduced with another set of superheroes, and then give her her own film. Kind of what they're going to do with the Hulk. That's how I feel they're going to do with Mark Ruffalo's The Hulk. So, yeah, I'd like to see a Justice League film down the line with a new Green Lantern, because the last one we all know was rubbish. And I kind of like Ryan Reynolds, but he didn't go that way. But he's got Deadpool now, so that's all good. On to next, we've got release dates of Spider-Man 3 and 4, and 2's not even out yet. And it looks like we're heading towards the Sinister Six storyline, as I think in Spider-Man 2 we've got both Goblins, Electro, which is played by Jamie Foxx, Rhino, and there is rumours of the Vulture as well. So that could be good. That could be good, but that's too much. I don't really. Again, Spider-Man, not one of my favourites, but if I hear anything else on that, I will put it into a move news. But yeah, there's your Spider-Man 3 and 4 release dates. I think it's 2016 and 2018 that the movies will come out. But that's onto other stuff. Video games in movies. Now, this is one thing that I've wanted to see for a while, and it's video games become good movies, because we've had rubbish over the past. I mean, Tomb Raider 1 was okay, but not the greatest. The Resident Evils, as a video game adaptation, they were rubbish. I personally like the movies, but I take the movies as they're not Resident Evil. So, yeah, I mean, I watch their movies as zombie films. As I've just said, I like zombie films, so I watch them as zombie films. And it's just a little bonus that I get. In the last one, I got to see Leon, and I got to see Barry, and things like that. So it's just little things like that. But as adaptations of the video games, so bad. And Resident Evil is probably my favourite franchise on video games of all time, with the exceptions of Halo and things like that. But as a kid, Resident Evil 2, I think it was. Well, I played 1, but not too much. It was Resident Evil 2 that really got me into the Resident Evil franchise. And so, yeah, but onto it. Video games that have been There's two video games that have been announced for 2015 to become movies, and the first one being Assassin's Creed in 2015. Now, apparently, this is going to be directed by, I can't remember his name. He did Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he did another film which was as big as Raiders, but I cannot for the life of me remember. But yeah, apparently he's going to be directing the Assassin's Creed film. So, but he's also done some bad films as well. I can't name them off the top of my head, but he has. The ones that I heard were pretty bad. So yeah, and the next film that is also going to be out and has been released for 2015 is World of Warcraft. Now, if they do this film right, it could pave the way for video game movies to become a massive landmark in the movie industry, as big as superhero movies have become. Because I feel that superhero movies are the biggest thing in movie franchises at the moment. Everybody knows that, and it's going to be that for a long, long time to come. So yeah, that should be exciting. And the next one, there's no release year for it or anything like that, but it's Ghost Recon. And then also we get the exception of Spielberg doing the Halo TV series. So that's all good. I'm happy with that. Hopefully they become big enough so we get better adaptations, and maybe one day get that all big Halo movie that all Halo fans have been waiting for. I think it was Peter Jackson that was rumoured to be doing it at one point, and everyone got all excited about it and things like that. And I was personally excited about it as well, but Peter Jackson, he's got The Hobbit now, hasn't he? So that's a different case, because don't even get me started on The Hobbit. So yeah, that's out of video games and movies. If I hear anything else on video games in movies, I will let you know in the next. I might just start doing a video game in movies section each week. But on this part of the show, this is my TV show of the week. Now, this pick is just solely because I finally got round to watching it. I've finally succumbed to the hype, and the hype is pretty damn accurate. It's not my favourite TV show of all time, but Game of Thrones, if you've not seen it, which I'm guessing most of you already have, I really highly recommend watching this TV show. It's as good as everybody states. And I mean, I don't really need to do a review on it because we all know what Game of Thrones is. It's a fantasy just overthrowing the throne, basically, of what I've seen up to yet, anyway. But the way it's done is insane. And the people that were watching it when I wasn't watching it week by week, and that one day I went on Facebook and everyone was like, "Oh, the Red Wedding! It's the craziest thing I've ever seen." I literally sat there and I was in shock what happened on that episode. I was absolutely in shock. But I think the director, he said he's got a list. He did an interview on the internet and they asked him things about Game of Thrones, and he said basically, I've got a list of people who die and they're all your favourites. So, and he said I think it's season 5 is not a TV show. It's just a massive description of a what do you call it? A funeral home, not a funeral home, a graveyard. So it's just, apparently book 5, I think it is. He said was just a 400-page description of a funeral yard. So sounds a bit brutal, but as you can see up to yet, the TV show is pretty much just everybody dying that you like. But they keep the exceptions in there, the rare ones that you don't really like at the beginning. Well, you like, but they don't become your favourites. But then, little by little, each episode, they become closer to you. I feel like there's one character in it called Khaleesi, and in episode 1 to, I don't know, season 2, episode 4, I didn't really care for her that much. But by the episode 10 of season 3, I loved her and I wanted her to, you know. So it's good in that aspect that they keep them little treasures there. There's also Jon Snow. He's my favourite character in the TV show, the bastard. But yeah, and then my movie of the week, because I've not really watched any movies, as I say, I've been watching Game of Thrones, is I'll still go with Man of Steel. Again, if you've not seen that film, I highly recommend that you go out. It's a really good take on Superman. If you've seen Superman Returns, I think it was 2006 that came out. That left a sour note in my mouth. It wasn't that good. There were some parts of the film that were great, but yeah, not the greatest. So, and that was meant to be a franchise, but it killed off Superman. Now this one, Man of Steel, is done absolutely perfect. There's some parts in it that made me oh really, but there's some great. It's a great film. Probably the best CGI scenes I've ever seen in any film ever. And yeah, go watch it. Really go watch it. Now this part is my announcements of the week. Like the films that I'm so excited for, the best announcements that have come out, and I'm pumped for. I cannot wait to see these films. And these films are Jurassic Park 4 and Independence Day 2. Now let's go to Jurassic Park 4 first. Jurassic Park 4 will always be close to my heart. I think that's the first film I ever went to the cinema to see. I went with my mum. Straight after it, my mum took me to Marks and Spencer's and bought me a Jurassic Park jumper. I went to school. I used to wear it as my best school. It was an absolute. I loved that film, and the soundtrack to that film, the na 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 na. I love it. Absolutely. When I went to see Man of Steel, the trailer for Jurassic Park 3D was on, and I feel I was the only person in the cinema that was getting really excited for this film because I love Jurassic Park. But something even bigger than that, I watched this film so many times as a kid. I remember my next door neighbour got it on video, and it had a sleeve that come over the video. It was Independence Day, sorry. It had a sleeve and it had like an holographic thing on which you turned, and the White House blew up when you moved it. It just awed me, and Will Smith in that film was just so amazing. But now Will Smith has not been confirmed to be in Independence Day 2. Now, I feel when you've announced Independence Day 2, you've got a script for Independence Day 2, and that script either contains Will Smith's character or it doesn't. And that kind of scares me that Will Smith's not on board straight away, because he should be. But we don't know, we could see what's coming down the line. But yeah, that's it for my movie review. Well, not movie reviews, movie talk, as you would. But if you liked this episode, this new show, then please leave a like and a comment and let me know if you liked it or not. And if you did, I will do more, because I've always wanted to do something like this. But I'm a bit scared of this being on the screen. But we'll persevere. Yeah, so if you liked it, please leave a like and a comment and let me know what you liked. And if you've got any questions for me, I will try and answer them as quick as possible. Or I may even start doing a movie answers episode. In next week's episode, if I get questions, I might do a section where I answer your guys' questions. So yeah, please let me know, and I will see you on the next one, guys. Thank you very much, and peace out.